Welcome to the Align portion of our day 3 of our Flow and Align into Summer Challenge. And today, Jamie's going to be giving us a flow for our feet and our legs, and I just want to share a little bit about foot and leg alignments. Before I get going, I want to add too, I'm just talking about these alignments, giving you some tiny things to do, but I'm really hoping that you think about them as you go through your practice. And the cool thing about the way I like to think about alignments and the way optimal alignment in our body works is that these alignments apply no matter what position your arms are in. There's some poses where, yeah, we are asking our body to move a slightly different way, but the energy of the alignments is still there and they can help to stabilize us. But most of our poses, these alignments do apply. So even though I may be standing here straight up and down in Tadasana, I like to call this the Tadasana template because you can find the alignments here and then think about them in all the other poses. But even though I'm standing up here, doesn't mean that the alignments are necessarily different if I'm in Warrior 2 or Ardha Chandrasana or a headstand. So I like to give these to you just to think about, but think about them no matter what position you're in as you're going through your practice and as you're going through your life. So in this video, we're going to talk about foot and leg alignment. And foot alignment specifically is a passion of mine. I love foot alignment. I used yoga and foot alignment to help heal a knee injury for me. And so, again, I could go on about foot alignment forever. So if you have more interest in that, or you have existing knee injuries and you want to talk to me about that, about super intricate foot alignment, we can talk a lot about that. But for right now, I'm going to continue on with the discussion of these loops that are going on in our body, because there really are sort of most basic alignments that just tell us real simply how our body is supposed to be aligned, really from front to back. And so for feet and legs, there's 3 loops as you move up. So starting with the one at the very bottom, we call that ankle loop. And so ankle loop, the energy goes up through the balls of your feet and down through your heels. So it roots you into the ground through your heels, but it gives you muscular action through your feet. And this is super important. So if you want to feel this loop as you stand with your feet on the ground, just lift your toes and feel how that creates the energy of your arch. And that energy of your arch is really the energy of this loop. And so you don't have to practice, of course, with your toes lifted all the time. Although, if you're trying to get into healing knees, we can talk about that. But you can put your toes back down, but just have that energy of your arch lifting up. The arches in your feet are super important. Arches absorb shock. And when you're not using your arch, or you've got a flattened arch, a collapsed arch, then really you've got no shock absorption before you get to your knees. And your knees aren't meant to do that. Your foot's meant to take that. So super important to find this action of our ankle loop. Energy up through the balls of our feet, down through our heels. The next one's really simple. It's called shin loop, and I'll just turn sideways for this one. So we've got our ankle loop going on there. The loops go in opposite directions. So ankle loop was moving this way, down through our heels, up through the balls of our feet. Our shin loop just moves the other way. And what it does basically is it just softens your knees. So whenever you're practicing yoga, or just in daily life, it's not great for you to lock your knees out. Some of us can even hyperextend our knees back. Not great for our knees. And so our shin loop just reminds us that our knees should be soft. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't have muscular engagement in our legs. So you can fire up your thighs and fire up your calves while still having a micro bend in your knees. And so if you exaggerate your shin loop, of course you get a full bend. But what we're talking about really is a micro bend. That's small enough that if I look at you, your legs still look straight, but you've not got that action of locking your knees. The third loop as we go up is our thigh loop. And our thigh loop takes the tops of our thighs back into the back plane of our body. And so if you remember yesterday with our shoulder loop, same thing. Shoulder head's trying to get into the back plane of your body. Tops of your thigh bones, they also want to be in the back plane of our body. And when we talk about hips, I'll talk about this one more because Our thigh loop is one half of really thinking about core engagement, but we're not going to go there today. So just the tops of your thighs go back. This is important because it keeps your hip joints in optimal alignment. Joint congruency means that nothing's rubbing on anything else. Everything's fitting together as nicely as it can with space around it so that the joint can function. Oftentimes we shove our hip bones forward out of their sockets, and this is over the course of our life often the reason why people end up having to have hip replacement surgery, because the top of their thigh bone has rubbed incorrectly in the socket of their hip. And so keeping the tops of the thighs back is super important. And like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into hips. So think about those 3 loops with our feet and our legs as we go through our practice with Jamie on day 3 of our Flow and Align into Summer Challenge. Ankle loop up through the balls of the feet, down through the heels. Shin loop just softens your knees, and thigh loop takes the top of your thigh bones back. All right, you guys enjoy your practice today, and I will check in with you guys for more alignment tips tomorrow. Aloha.